Good day to you, my friends. We are in lesson 72 in the Course in Miracles workbook. Here we go. Holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. While we have recognized that the ego's plan for salvation is the opposite of God's, we have not yet emphasized that it is an active attack on his plan and a deliberate attempt to destroy it. In the attack, God is assigned the attributes which are actually associated with the ego, while the ego appears to take on the attributes of God. The ego's fundamental wish is to replace God. In fact, the ego is the physical embodiment of that wish, for it is that wish that seems to surround the mind with a body, keeping it separate and alone, and unable to reach other minds except through the body that was made to imprison it. The limit on communication cannot be the best means to expand communication, yet the ego would have you believe that it is. Although the attempt to keep the limitations that a body would impose is obvious here, it is perhaps not so apparent why holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. But let us consider the kinds of things you are apt to hold grievances for. Are they not always associated with something a body does? A person says something you do not like. He does something that displeases you. He betrays his hostile thoughts in his behavior. You are not dealing here with what the person is. On the contrary, you are exclusively concerned with what he does in a body. You are doing more than failing to help him in freeing from the body's limitation. You are actively trying to hold him to it by confusing it with him and judging them as one. Herein is God attacked, for if his son is only a body, so must he be as well. A creator wholly unlike his creation is inconceivable. If God is a body, what must his plan for salvation be? What could it be but death? In trying to present himself as the author of life and not of death, he is a liar and deceiver, full of false promises and offering illusions in place of truth. The body's apparent reality makes this view of God quite convincing. In fact, if the body were real, it would be difficult indeed to escape this conclusion. And every grievance that you hold insists that the body is real. It overlooks entirely what your brother is. It reinforces your belief that he is a body and condemns him for it. And it asserts that his salvation must be death, protecting his attack onto God and holding him responsible for it. To this carefully prepared arena where angry animals seek for prey and mercy cannot enter, the ego comes to save you. God made you a body. Very well. Let us accept this and be glad. As a body, do not let yourself be deprived of what the body offers. Take the little you can get. God gave you nothing. The body is your only savior. It is the death of God and your salvation. This is the universal belief of the world you see. Some hate the body and try to hurt and humiliate it. Others love the body and try to glorify and exalt it. But while the body stands at the center of your concept of yourself, you are attacking God's plan for salvation and holding your grievances against him and his creation, that you may not hear the voice of truth and welcome it as your friend. Your chosen Savior takes his place instead. It is your friend, he is your enemy. We will try today to stop these senseless attacks on salvation. We will try to welcome it instead. Your upside-down perception has been ruinous to your peace of mind. You have seen yourself in a body and the truth outside you, locked away from your awareness by the body's limitations. Now we are going to try to see this differently. The light of truth is in us, where it was placed by God. It is the body that is outside us and not our concern. To be without a body is to be in our natural state. To recognize that the light of truth in us is to recognize ourselves as we are. To see ourself as separate from the body is to end the attack on God's plan for salvation and to accept it instead. And wherever his plan is accepted, it is accomplished already. Our goal in the longer practice periods today is to become aware that God's plan for salvation has already been accomplished in us. To achieve this goal, we must replace attack with acceptance. As long as we attack it, we cannot understand what God's plan for us is. We are therefore attacking what we do not recognize. Now we are going to try to lay judgment aside and ask what God's plan for us is. What is salvation, Father? I do not know. Tell me that I may understand. Then we will wait in quiet for his answer. We have attacked God's plan for salvation without waiting to hear what it is. We have shouted our grievances so loudly that we have not listened to his voice. We have used our grievances to close our eyes and stop our ears. Now we would see and hear and learn. What is salvation, Father? Ask and you will be answered. Seek and you will find. We are no longer asking the ego what salvation is and where to find it. We are asking it of truth. Be certain then that the answer will be true because of whom you ask. Whenever you feel your confidence wane and your hope of success flicker and go out, repeat your question and request, remembering that you are asking of the infinite creator of infinity, who created you like yourself, himself. What is salvation, Father? I do not know. Tell me that I may understand. He will answer. Be determined to hear. One or perhaps two shorter practice periods an hour will be enough for today, since they will be somewhat longer than usual. These exercises should begin with this. Holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. Let me accept it instead. What is salvation, Father? Then wait a minute or so in silence, preferably with your eyes closed, and listen for the answer. So in this lesson, I know that for myself, sometimes it's hard to believe that I am attacking God's plan for salvation. And I find that there can be some resistance to this. You're like, wait, how am I attacking God's plan for salvation? I'm doing these lessons. I'm trying to figure out how I can be a better human, how I can heal myself deeply. How am I attacking? But the course here is being just very direct. And I do very much appreciate that language because it's saying, look, you are associated with the body. You have kept the limitations that the body imposes on you, and you are not a body. And the reminder of this, I think we can't do that enough. We become almost obsessed with our bodies, and I can accept that part of this lesson that yes, I do sometimes feel that keeping my body safe, keeping it healthy, seeing what other people do in their bodies keeps me from forgiving them. I can hold grievances based on what people say or what they do or don't do. So just kind of that acceptance that yes, we do identify ourselves as a body most of the time. And instead, allowing ourselves to broaden that perspective and to say, you know what? I'm more than a body. It actually says here that when I'm not in my body, I'm in my natural state, that the body is a limitation. And I liken this to, like a car. You know you're not your car. Your car gets you from one place to the next. You take care of your car, you put gas in it, you get an oil change, you wash it, but you know you're not your car. And I think that the course in this lesson is asking us to realize that you're not your car, you're not your body. And as you hold grievances against the body or someone else's body, you are actively keeping God's plan for salvation over there. So to allow it to come in is to say, look, I'm not this body. Please show me what salvation is. Show me what I can do, where I need to go, how I can see this. I'm willing. That's what this lesson is asking us to do. It does go deep into explaining to us, how we are attacking salvation. And if that's triggering for you, I would just invite you to step back and just for a moment realize that yes, at times we do identify as a body, but you are spirit in a body. Just like when your body is driving a car, you are a body driving a car. You're not your car, right? So we, the other piece of this that's important to recognize is that God's plan for salvation is already accomplished. So, yes, in the last lesson, it's asking us, what do I need to do? Where do I go? What am I supposed to say and to whom? This lesson is saying, yes, do those things, but also know, because remember, the lessons are layered on each other. Also know that it's been accomplished. So I love this idea in the Course of Miracles that all miracles are held in a trust. Everything that is meant for you is done and is held in a trust. And we're just working ourselves in time to that place where we can open the trust and receive. So it's done. Your happiness, freedom, your realization is done. We can accept that, we can acknowledge that, we can allow that. And in time and in space and in our lives and in our circumstances, we are learning how to remove the blocks to that so that we can realize that it has been done. And in any given moment, salvation is complete and it is yours. So, yeah, this is a deep lesson. It's asking us to be curious about what salvation is. It's telling us that it's already there. We already have it. And it's showing us that anytime we're holding on to grievances, we are attacking that, not against God, but against ourselves. So we hold ourselves back by our grievances, and holding those is an attack, is a withdrawal from God's plan for us, which is ultimate happiness and freedom. And to see that we're the ones doing that by overly identifying with our bodies or other bodies can be quite enlightening to realize that we have the power to shift our perception and to accept the plan by releasing our grievances. So happy practicing today. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day.